Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Talk. I'm Tanis Coughlin from Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and I am welcoming today my co-host, Jennifer Drakowski.
Hello, hello.
And our very special guest, which we're thrilled to have. Welcome to Karuna, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And we'll say a big hello to some of our regulars that have shown up. We have Kaylee online with Fogo Pogo. Hey, Kaylee.
Hello, hello.
And we have Hypnocity. Hey, Milani.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. So we have had some big stuff in the last day or so in terms of our usual solar flares. We've actually had some, let me see here. We've got, I don't have it, I'm not sharing it today, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 M class solar flares, and we had an X class yesterday, an X 2.03. So that was pretty intense yesterday, I have to say. I felt that come in. And as for the Schumann, it's been fairly quiet. I mean, fairly quiet. It's still way over our usual sort of 7.8 hertz, but we're like, 14 today. So, nothing like the 130 that we had a week and a half ago. So we're doing good with that. Definitely had some higher geometric conditions. So those are a little higher. The KP, it's been a KP4. So that's a little bit higher. What have we got going on in transits, Jen?
Well, if you guys felt a shift happening today, it's because we entered a new transit. So, of course, I haven't pulled the card because, I got too excited. So I'll do that while I share about it. So the transit that we entered today, we're going to be in until the 1st of March. And it is the gate 37 or the gene key 37. And this is the energy that moves us from the shadow of weakness to the siddhi of tenderness through the gift of equality. Okay, so this is the gate that really drives social change, right? And this is, as we know from everything that's happening in the world, change is happening, right? And society is moving in all kinds of different directions. But the idea here is that how do we move into this place where we're raising a bit of that feminine energy, right? Being able to talk about that. So Richard Rudd, when he talks about the 37th gene key, he talks about Carl Jung and how he brought about the animus and the anima, right? The inner feminine and the inner masculine archetypes that we have within us, and how we're meant to find balance between them. So this shadow of weakness, and I'll show you guys the card for it. Right? This has to do with the family and friendship and community. And so when we're looking at this idea of weakness, what we're really looking at is a lack of balance, right? Where we feel weak, where we feel lacking, where we feel disadvantaged. These are places where we don't see equality, where we don't see that ability to step into equality. And what Richard really emphasizes, Richard Rudd, who brought in the gene keys, is this idea that we have an equal opportunity to find that within our consciousness, right? So often we look at all of this stuff outside of ourselves, but the idea here is to really go inward, right? And to recognize where we're at in our own consciousness and in our own conscious evolution. And so, with this shadow aspect, we settle in our victim state, right? We settle for less. We settle for just what is or how it shows up for us. And, weakness in this case is not, about our raw physical strength. It is about our consciousness, and it is about how we perceive. And so when we're looking at weakness through this perception, one of the things that I absolutely love about the gene keys is that these areas that are our shadows can also become our greatest strengths. They can become our genius and what it is that we're meant to bring into the world. And so if we're willing to allow ourselves to sit with this energy and to contemplate what's going on within ourselves, if we can find that area of weakness that we perceive within us, we actually tap into our genius and what we're able to bring forward in order to bring transformation and change to ourselves, to our community, and to the greater consciousness, right? And so this is the time to reflect and go, okay, what are the areas in which I struggle the most? Where do I beat myself up? Where is my negative self-talk? Where do I come into this place of, feeling that victimhood all of the time? Yeah, settling or acceptance. We're going to come back to that hypnicity, because as we look at this energy, right, the shadow has to eventually submit to fate, in some ways, and yet it has to submit to it in order to go through it, to be able to release, right? So when we talk about this idea of acceptance, there is a component here where we have to accept, you know what, this perception that I have of my weakness, I'm okay to sit with this for a while. I'm okay to bring it in, right? To hold it, to love it, to give love to it, because in doing so, I'm going to unlock my gift, right? And this gift is what brings balance. It's what brings equality. So it's about finding that inner relationship within ourselves, right? And we can get into the whole yin yang, right? Heart, intellect, calm, vivaciousness, like all of those different things. The idea behind it is this need to bring that balance within, to bring that cohesion within, so that we can work through the weakness, right? To create this more powerful sense of how can I, support myself? How can I support others? I can do that in this place. But again, balance, right? This is where Tanis and I often say, support, not save, right? There's this piece where it's finding the balance, right? So how do we support ourselves? How do we support others? And we do that by holding space for each other to get out of that victim frequency, right? And part of that is being willing to ask for help when we need it. And then being willing to step out on our own when we're ready, right? And that again is that balance piece. And so, the work of this gene key is to help us to overcome this belief that we're not capable, to overcome the belief that we're too weak, we're not able, we don't have capacity, we're not strong enough, we're not bright enough, we're not whatever it is, right? So that we can enter into tenderness, which is that enlightened state, that ability to rest in our essence, to know who we are, and to really allow the synchronicity of that to come forward so that we can become aligned. And in doing so, because this is family, right? This is collective energy. It's about becoming aligned with those who align with our genius, who allow us to step into that energy and to move forward, to be able to bring in those qualities and those traits, right? So during this next week of moving through this energy, notice, where am I beating myself up? Where do I tell myself I'm not good enough? And then also, how can the other side of that, how can those qualities bring me into wholeness? How can they bring me into balance? How can I use those to bring myself forward into a place where I am aligning with the energy around me to step into my highest self? Right. And this is not a, we talk about tenderness and stuff, and I think we think like, oh, it's weak, it's this, it's that. There's a quote from Richard. It's tenderness is a collective fire engendered through mutual compassion and fanned by the winds of grace, and carrying the transformational power of truth. Right? It's wind and fire. It's what brings about the forest fire, right? That spreading of this energy that changes, right? That releases and changes so that new things can grow and move forward. And so just notice where this is showing up for you this week so that you can open to that energy and move forward with those transformational processes, not just with yourself, but within your community.
Yeah, and I think you're referring more to our chosen family,
Oh, most definitely.
right? Because sometimes, sometimes they're different. Sometimes they're the same. If we're lucky, our biological family can be our chosen family as well. But for some, it's not. It's their chosen family. So
Yeah.
because you mentioned it being around those that align with you, and I know many people that are on the awakening path that their family is not so aligned necessarily, right? So chosen family, community.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I love that puts, family and friendship is on there, right?
Yes.
So I think that community, however that shows up for us.
Definitely.
And speaking of community.
Me too.
Mhm.
Well, they accept me. It's not that they, but it's different, right? Yeah, I think this is often people's self-talk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this, I'm too woo-woo. She uses this word, hitting the city. No, you're not too woo-woo. Just to, let you know that we kind of switched that word up actually recently, because it's the interpretation of being yourself, isn't it? And your wisdom and your spiritual, whatever comes through you could always be and should actually be woo-woo. It should definitely. I just want to
I love that.
going. I'm enjoying your show so much.
She says even her husband rolls his eyes sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Well,
of course.
Hey,
When
that
you're
just means that
talking
you're.
Means you're being more you.
Just scratch your head when he does that. Oh, thank you. Just always taking it from personal. Here's a super good thing to impersonal. Of course I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for notes. At least you heard me.
He was listening.
Yeah.
This is a good thing.
Yeah, no compliment.
Hey, Jack. She's one of our teachers with the school. So
Nice.
She's actually our yoga teacher.
Oh, Satnam. Yes,
Yeah.
we love yoga. Yoga is a necessity. And it comes in so many different ways. But continue your offering. I'm learning so much.
Well, I think that it's a beautiful transition into you and telling us a bit about you and what you do and about your amazing
the book.
That I already grabbed a whole bunch of stuff in.
Oh, I love that. I love the tabs. I love the tabs. Every book you should pick up, that I say, and I prayed that this one would do that. And I put it to my third eye point and I open it. And there she is in lotus. And, in that beautiful lotus mudra that connects. Hello, everyone. I am so blessed to be with you today. And I couldn't say just the preparation. I always look at the preparation prior to each and every one hosting me and how you women go about your way of transmitting. And today I just woke up and I looked in the mirror and I said, I am bountiful, I'm beautiful, I am blissful, I am.
Perfect.
Because we have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I got that last night. I was like, hey, we have a choice here on how we want to have a conversation. Nobody can take that away from us. And also, your voice is never, ever going to meet up to compare AI to what you can say from here.
It's the energy you bring to what you say, right?
Yeah. And that energy, if you find yourself in anger. That's an energy. And you were talking about that place of the second chakra. You were actually identifying to the second chakra in your conversation earlier about, you know, the what do you call it? I have such a hard time with this word people use, victim. The victim.
She's totally blocked it from her mind. She's not in victim vibration at all.
No, can we just erase that word right now? And another one to erase is overwhelm. Okay, so basically we need to rewrite the vocabulary on everything and bring it out to the woo-woo, but yet grounded in the principle and the science. And that's why I love Kundalini yoga, as well as all other yogas. And every yoga is mentioned in my book because I have a deep respect in how it works. However, there's a scientific fact that Kundalini yoga takes 6 months versus how many decades have we been doing Hatha yoga? Like, here we go. And what I mean by it works in 6 months, you can master it literally, is that there's specific meditations that you go into the right left hemisphere of the brain and you change the mind of that situation where you think you are a victim. You think you are not beautiful, bountiful, blissful. You think nobody hears me. Everyone hears you. And so with meditation, because there's 9 aspects to the mind, with 3 drop downs, 27 projections in this mind, in this beautiful mind. That's why I say always scratch your head. Always give your head. I use a lot of Ayurveda. So in the morning sadhana, I have a bottle from Banyan Botanical. You must have this growing everywhere you are in Canada. I mean, everywhere. But there's a vata. It's a dosha. So there's 3 doshas in Ayurveda. You speak about this a lot, possibly.
Not on the show, no. I've been taking my 200-hour yoga instructor training, so I am familiar from there.
Great. So vata, windy, cold, chilly. Body brings, this energy of, I'm not good enough. So we balance it. And pitta, and it's your constitution, it's your body, it's your bones. You could be kapha, but your bones could be pitta or vata. So we would get you down to being more pitta, vata, pitta kapha balance. So we do this every day with oils. So the essences of the vata, the Maha Narayan oil that you can get at Banyan Botanicals. This is anywhere you can look for Maha Narayan oil, or vata, or pitta, or kapha oil. And if your energy is weakened, you're probably vata at the moment. For example, it's below 0 and the wind chill is -15 and you have to go out. You can't just stay in and hide. You have to go out into these elements. So you get the doshas moving. You dry brush the skin. Dry brush, right? You oil it up with these specific oils, and it could just be almond oil. It could be olive oil if that's all you have. It could be ghee. As a matter of fact, if you have skin problems, you can anoint yourself with ghee. So there are so many remedies to find what you were speaking about, balance. And in the meditation and in the way we hold ourselves, we can balance that second chakra. So we use 3 minds in Kundalini yoga. We use the negative mind, second chakra. We use the positive mind, solar plexus, and we use the neutral. And this is where you saw the picture of me and Lotus. When we put the tattvas, our fingers are tattvas, earth, wind, fire, water, ether, you spoke about the elements. When we put the thumbs together, and we try it, everyone, and we put the pinky together. So thumb is ego, pinky is communication, Mercury, okay? We're talking about the planets. So ego, and then Mercury, bring the wrists together. There's a heart meridian. The fingers, Jupiter's index, middle finger Saturn, and ring finger Sun. So we open those up and out, and we put them in our heart, and we pull our chin in, and we tuck the tailbone slightly to align the spine, and we look over at the tip of the nose with the eyes 1/10 open, 9/10 closed. We feel the connection to our optic nerve in the root of the nose, the third eye point, which relates to the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, master gland, pineal or pineal is the memory gland, subconscious memories that stop us in our tracks from moving forward through every block. So we hold this mudra, lotus, and we place this mantra, and you can repeat, I'll call and you respond. Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Try that.
Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti,
Namo Namo.
Namo.
That is so beautiful. The way you said that, maybe for the first time, was and is always perfect. And it's always aligned because it's calling in the divine feminine. Next line. Sedaba Shakti. Try that. Sedaba Shakti.
Sedba Shakti.
Sedaba Shakti.
Sedba Shakti.
Sedaba Shakti.
Sedba Shakti.
I bow. Namo Namo.
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 Beautiful. This is a fun one. Pritam Bhagwati. Pritam Bhagwati. Pritam Bhagwati.
Bhagavati.
Namo Namo.
Namo Namo.
And then we say the fourth line, and this is the mantra to call in the divine feminine, this whole mantra. Kundalini, try that.
Kundalini.
Mata Shakti.
Mata Shakti.
Kundalini Mata Shakti Namo Namo. All together.
Kundalini Mata
Shakti.
Namo
Mata Shakti Namo Namo. Last round. Kundalini Mata Shakti Namo Namo.
Kundalini Mata Shakti. Mata Shakti.
Namo
Namo.
And then bring the palms together. Take your left hand over. Take your left hand under, your right hand over. We're connecting divine, masculine on the right, feminine on the left, at the heart. Layer the energy and feel this mantra of Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Sedaba Shakti, Sedaba Shakti, Sedaba Shakti, Namo Namo. Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Pritam Bhagwati, Namo Namo. Kundalini Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. and rest in the energy, the essence of this for a moment. Feel the tip of your tailbone, center you, because this is where Mata, the mother of all energy, sits at the tip of your tailbone. So if she is out of alignment, we're walking sideways towards something we're being told to listen to, and allow ourselves to align ourselves daily with that mantra. And it's enough to just do that. So feel this energy, and where this energy is at the base of the spine, it's the Kunda. So Kundalini, Kunda is coiled, pent up energy that doesn't release for lifetimes. Okay, we can just settle into saying we're here with a purpose now. We're going to awaken and not be afraid, no fear. Second chakra is the fear. So that's right above. It's so aligned. Our body and mind and spirit are so centered, so aligned, that who would put the second chakra above the first chakra, where Mata Kundalini awakens, sends energy through the second, through the third, through the fourth chakra, through the fifth, which is now the throat. Our words. You were talking about the mantra, the words of how you are with yourself. In times of desperation, need, financial stresses, the war that's going on inside of us gives us this opportunity to third eye point, bring us to this Ajna chakra that we looked over the tip of the nose and we held lotus that grows out of the mud, sprouts so those fingers stay active. The intuition changes the pineal, the subconscious patterns that hold us back. And that answers the why. Most people are asking, why does it keep coming back every 6 months? I wake up, I grow up, I clean up, I show up, and then 6 months later it comes back. Please tell me why. And it happens to all of us. Because when we're not complete, I learned this from experience, when we're not complete, we just draw it back in, baby. It just comes right back in. I mean, if you look at your relationships, and this is why it's so beautiful, you talked about chosen relationships. If you look at your relationships, they stream from the same sort of person you're drawing in until you're complete with that type of person and moved on and grew up, matured, moved out of that relationship kindly, politely, not to create a karma, right? And that is really, in a nutshell, the sixth chakra takes you there over the tip of the nose. Why does that optic nerve need to awaken? Because it needs to work with the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland in this body, and every one of us, we're all the same, have a pituitary gland, and we have a glandular system, right? And if we can do the type of breath work that we do, like the 2-stroke breath, which is just so simple, goes, and we just let it go. And if you do it long enough to repeating japa is a part of the yogic practice, to repeat. Mantra, you repeat. Ramadasa, Sase, Soham, the healing mantra. If you do these breaths, the signature breaths that help you change the mindset of the pineal gland, the memory gland that talks about what you were speaking, that past and that future. Let's stay present. Let's stay right here and now. So that's a little taste. Oh, but I have to take you one step further to the 7th chakra, because we work with the seven chakras. So we started with the tailbone, which is the soul, negative mind, positive mind, neutral mind, throat chakra, ajna chakra, crown. So what's here? Your aura. Hello, aura. And your aura is 9 feet above you, below you, from side to side, in front of you and back of you. You're in that huge bubble. And now you're all in that, by the way. You're all in that because you tuned in. And that tuning in gets you to the 8th body, which is your prana, the breath work we do. But I mean, most people look at Kundalini yoga and go, oh, isn't it that crazy breath work, like breath of fire? Oh, I've heard it. Believe me, even my best friends say that. I'm like, Leslie, why don't you come to class once in a while and let me just, you show. But they don't show up. They don't show up because they're doing their own practice. But when you do that breath, a breath specifically, and we have so many breaths to do and to learn and to know that is your tool in your toolkit, in your handbag. You put all your breath work. Because most of the time through grief and trauma, we're holding our breath.
Yeah.
I speak about it in my book through the losses I've experienced. I didn't even know I was holding my breath. And especially in your early 20s, or you go through trauma, you're walking around with trauma. And it sits in the pelvic floor, ladies and gents. And unfortunately, that pelvis gets out of balance ever so slightly. That's why when you said you went to the chiropractor, yes, please. The rib cage, right, ladies? The rib cage. The breath. The skin is our third lung. So we want to get into the breath so we shine. As you're shining so brightly. And then the 9th body is the subtle body. And the subtle body is the year we are in. It's what you speak of. It's so important to know the solar flares and where they're taking us.
Yeah.
It's a great conversation. And the last body is the 10th body, which is radiant body. So you look like you look, and you look so beautiful, and you're like shiny and shiny and polished from the inside. So there's a taste.
Beautiful.
Sorry.
I love that. Loved that. Well, it's so
Awesome.
interesting too, because, as we were doing that and all, and I could feel the shift. I, tend to sit and slouch and this and that and lean and whatever. And as we're doing it, like I can feel the expansion.
I feel like you're like
happening.
right?
And then when you said, like to sit in that root, and I was like, I do, where I sit off balance, and I sit sometimes where I'm like, oh, and as you were like having us feel into it, I'm like, oh, I am straighter. I am sitting more balanced. This is really awesome.
And you are sitting on a sheepskin. So that I teach. I will not teach without my sheepskin. So I teach on a sheepskin. Why? Because it changes the electromagnetic field as you sit on wool. It changes you. So you're not interacting with the energies out there where you were talking about that earlier. You're not like throwing yourselves into the whirlwind of energy. We're using the energy. And by sitting on a sheepskin, instead of a plastic rolled out mat, try it. It works. I always like bring my sheepskin and yoga teachers into random classes. And even I'm in white long dresses and I do their hatha yoga classes because I love it. And it's, but, it just takes more of an effort to get around. You're not in tight, clingy clothes, polyester, nylon. That stuff suffocates your skin. We talked about the skin. That skin is your third lung. Look how gorgeous your skin is. It's just radiant. And you want to keep it radiant. So trying not to put such tight clothes on your body when you practice, white linen, is super cool. Or blue is, I mean, you want to really project purity best you can when you first wake up in the morning, especially. That's why, dry brushing, oiling, bit of a cold shower wakes you up, get all cozy, do yourself now. Like that. I mean, it's so beautiful. It's like, wow. I don't want to do anything but take in my yoga right now. I don't want to do anything. And that's why we talk about getting up so early before the sun rises, because Kundalini yoga is angles and triangles. So when the sun's rising, it's at a certain angle, and when it's setting, it's at a certain angle, and that hits. So early morning is 30 degrees, 60 degrees sunset. Those are power points to meditate and to chant and to move the body and be really focused on who's talking to me right now? Which demon? And just, allow them. Dalai Lama talks about his demons. We need to line them up. And I just want to do a special prayer right now. It's just coming through. This is what happens. Just comes through. So let's do a special prayer for Pope, our Pope right now. I know he's in the hospital, and he's got this double pneumonia, and let's just all send out a beautiful prayer, prosperity and health. Ramadasa Sase Soham. Thank you for that. I hope he feels that, receives that loving energy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And that healing energy would be beautiful to sit in.
That Ra, that moon, Ma, Ra is the sun, Ma is the moon, Da Sa, Sa Se So Hung, let it be so, is a healing mantra. So you can take your groups, everyone, and you sit with your hands, elbows are at your side, and you sit with your hands, so they're like that. They're out at a 60-degree angle. Also, your elbows are at your rib cage. Nice. Oh, thank you. Hi.
I want to be able to see you.
Now we're in my study. I love my study. So elbows are in, palms are flat. You're at a 60-degree angle. And now tilt the palm towards the center of the circle. So all of us work in bigger groups at times. Here is a meditation for you to sit in your group. You can offer, in a circle please, you can offer the space in front of you in the center of the circle for anyone who needs healing. They go into the center of the circle. They lie out on their back. They receive in Savasana this great healing. So if we were to put Pope Francis in the center of the circle right now, and we were universally surrounding him, everybody, and we turn our palms in and our elbows are in our rib cage, 60-degree angle with the arms opens up the victory, breaks away from fear, and heals. So the person who chooses to go into the center of your healing circle, your woman's circle, your gent circle, whatever you want to do, stays as long as he or she wants to take the healing, and then thanks silently and gets back into the circle and holds the space. And the mantra, Ramadasa Sase Soham. Can we chant it, ladies, like 3 times?
Sure.
Sure.
And anybody who wants to join can be part of the circle, and anybody who needs to get in the middle can do so.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Just envision yourself in the middle if you want the healing.
Thank you. Ready? Ramadasa Sase Soham. Ramadasa Sase Soham. Sase Soham. Take a deep inhale and feel the healing. See your body, your own body, dear friends, sisters, brothers, community. See yourself vibrant. See yourself full of stamina. And exhale. And inhale through the nose and feel the whole body full of light. The solar plexus full of the sun. The crown full of the moon. The energy around every cell, meridian, and nadi, organ, glandular system, healthy. Exhale. And last round for this moment, inhale and see the universal war-free zone. No more violence. Only peace and healing. And exhale. Oh, may all the children and the mothers and the children feel this. Return to the smile on their faces and the beautiful gratitude to this incredible gathering today, universally. Thank you. And as we use the Sat Nam, we say Sat Nam, truth is my identity and value. So that's the healing circle, the healing mantra. So it's Ramadasa, Sa, S-A, say, S-A-Y, So, S-O, Hung, H-U-N-G. And that hung is the back of the tongue on the upper part. Hung, and that vibrates. Frequency we're talking about. We're talking about frequency here. We're talking about raising the bar. Really elevating. Yeah, sure. Poke, provoke, confront. But let's elevate. Ultimately, we never leave anybody just wondering, where do I go next now? Is it going to come back in 60, right? All the dialogue just does its thing. But we stay present. And
I started to type it out just so that the group can have it. And I know it's in there, but I just...
So it goes like this. It goes Ra, Ma, Da, Sa, Se, So, Hum. And that's the healing mantra.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to just copy what will let me copy it.
This is the healing mantra, and
There it is, guys.
So effective. And I feel like I want to give you this as well, which is I'm just going to copy and paste this. How to, and forgive me if I'm treading on your toes here. I'm sure you probably already have this posted, but let's see if there's another mantra that wants to be told here.
Mhm.
So that's where you can find my book at Amazon. But it's it's at the picture maybe. Hopefully, let's see. That's just the link to get the book. There's a need for prosperity. Are you interested in creating prosperity in your life? And let's just have that.
Pretty sure everyone is. Yep.
Yeah.
Good, because this is coming through so strongly. So here's what we do. We take the hands. Again, these tattvas, it's earth, wind, fire, water, ether. And we sit up super straight. Again, we're at that angle. Our elbows are in our rib cage. Our palms are flat. They're not bent. They're flat because there's a meridian, a heart meridian. So we want to stay connected to the heart, okay? So elbows come in. Hands are just about 3 inches apart. You hit them. So this is a moon center on both hands. You softly hit the moon, turn the palms, thumbs come under and cross. So right thumb goes over left. And you hit the index finger, which is Jupiter, for expansion and prosperity. And then you turn it over and you hit the moon. And then you hit it again. And the right, actually, it's the left thumb that comes over the right. The feminine comes over the masculine. And you hit the Jupiter. And so you start this rhythm like this. And actually, if you just keep your hands, so lean back slightly, because I know we're all leaning toward the screen. Lean back slightly, pull the chin in. And guess what? We get to chant super easily. So the palms are flat. They never, ever do anything else but stay like a pancake, a script. That's it. Good. Now we add H-A-R. That's pronounced H-U-D. And with every smack, we add HUD, 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 HUD. And we look at the tip of our nose into the palms of our hands. Keep going, ladies, with the HUD. And we ask for prosperity. If you want a new dishwasher, don't be shy. All prosperity. If you want good health, you manifest it. Maybe you saw something like a crystal recently that you just wish you could put on your altar. You manifest everything you want. And you do it rhythmically, just like the ladies are doing here. And you pull your navel, pull the navel. At the same time, you say, HUD, 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 HUD. Because when you get into your navel, it gives you a lower tone. It's not up here anymore. Like, am I good enough? Am I happy enough? No, that's all nasal. Go down. HUD, 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 HUD. And then you inhale. Look at the lines in your hands. Look at them. Just keep them in front of you. Don't bring them up close. And you move the hands really quick. Go really quick. On the inhale, just really quick, and you manifest. You manifest. You see the check being written to you for the amount you need. Sign. Take it to the bank. And exhale. Cash it. Got it? And then you inhale. Yeah. and you go really fast, and you might want something else. And don't be shy and ask for everything. The health of a friend, whatever it is, a child in need. You manifest it, and you exhale, you see it. And that just gave a huge breath to your lungs, to your system. It's not just manifesting your prosperity. It gives you breath back. And thank you for doing this for you, because that mantra, and I'll put it in the chat, is so profound. It's H-A-R, but it's pronounced H-U-D. And why is that? Because you need to get the tip of the tongue onto the upper palate fast, because it awakens 84 meridian points, and you'll never gossip again.
Oh.
You'll never gossip again. Because when you move your tongue enough on that upper palate and you put a smile on your face, it changes your frequency. You're like, I'm good. I don't need to repeat that. I'll just hold that and help that and heal that and not move that gossipy thing forward. It brings prosperity to you by doing that, catching yourself. Because like you said, we picked up from our ancestors a lot of habits. Alcoholism, addiction, survival skills that weren't as where they are today. Learning to heal in a good way, in a healthy way, not pushing down that grief with substances.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, gosh, you're really pulling out a lot of me today.
It's awesome.
It is. It's great.
I love your red cheeks. Look at those.
I know. I'm like,
So excited.
My God. Oh my God.
the energy is just like flowing.
You look like your son now.
Yeah.
He's just gorgeous.
Yeah. You got to meet one of my mini-me's earlier.
Ah.
Oh, so beautiful. Oh, how many mini-me's do you have?
2.
I have one.
Oh, what do you have? What do you have? A girl, a boy?
Boy. He's 26.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Mini-me, big mini-me.
Okay.
Yeah, he's taller than me.
Oh.
Not so many me.
We love our boys. They're so beautiful. They consciously raising children. Another subject. Another necessity is how to raise kids, right?
Yeah.
Consciously, and feed them consciously. Like, you know, I lived in Dairyville. I lived in London when I had my children. My daughter was in New York, and I had my son in London, and all they do is eat dairy.
Oh.
And the health food stores are so far away. It's like the train ride is an hour to get there, get the stuff, and bring it back home. It's another hour. And it's like, oh my God, the effort it takes for self-care.
Yes.
And to raise conscious children and ourselves so we don't get sick. And when we do get sick, we heal it homeopathically, because those antibiotics and all that stuff are necessary for some things. But if we can try to complement, you know, and I speak about that. There's so many subjects in the book. It just goes into the journey, starting at 20 years old, 19 in Paris, to that whole thing. And then, you know, Boulder, Colorado, Paris, New York, 8 years. I survived New York in my 20s. London, and traveling in between to all the greatest places in the world, you know, to find myself, it seemed like India 7 times. You don't get these awakenings to solidify if you just go on vacation. How dare I take a vacation?
Right?
What is that?
Yeah, no, it's just like, no, vacation? No. I don't know. There's just so much to experience, and it's always a really amazing when we go out staycation, because we stay as we are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't take our bad habits with us and pollute the air and pollute the beaches and pollute the stuff.
Yeah.
Just don't need to, right, ladies? I mean, tell me more. Tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to put your post that you did, because it just went to the one group. So I'm about to post it, guys. So you'll be able to actually see the name of her book again, and
yeah.
you'll be able to get, Amazon and her email that was shared, which was very, very sweet. So here you go. That's to everybody.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
Oh, yay. So
Yeah,
great.
Awesome.
so again, like the book, which is super awesome. And like she said, there's so much information in here about practices, about journeys, tools. And I even loved at the very back, you even had, music to play with the mantras and all of that, just to really be able to allow yourself to be immersed in the energy of it and all. And and I loved it too, because as we were going through and I noticed the songs and all that were in there and going, I love some of these. This is awesome. Just the different, mantras and all to listen to, and the energy and how they feel is such a beautiful thing. So really tons of amazing information.
Thank you. And you know, it was what drew me to this specific yoga practice after doing 3 decades of all the others was the music. I started with that. And it was like, oh, really? That I can feel this inside of me like this? Because it's the heart chakra, up. It's the upper triangle. So we settle with the yoga in the bottom triangle. We put the music on in the upper triangle, and we bliss. We become the bliss. And guess what? It heals grief. Yeah. It heals trauma, this music, this sound current, because the instruments, the strings and the drums and the voices are sacred. And everyone can chant and everyone can sing. And when we do concerts, we look to the right and to the left, and before they even open their mouths and you don't even know the people sitting next to you, you say, you have the most beautiful voice I've ever heard. And we mean it. Yeah. Yeah. So my Instagram is at Light on Kundalini, which is the title of the book as well. And
if they look below, all of your social links are below all of the posts.
Great. And the reason I mention it is because I get to be live with you on a Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. And I teach a different class every week.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I post them. So there's a lot of good classes already posted. And I just finished a series of house cleaning 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Nice.
So we could January, dry Jan, right? So we have these commitments, these resolutions. So why not cleanse your temple while you're doing your commitment? So you can stick to it.
Beautiful.
So much to share. I don't want to ever, leave you without answering your questions. And I'm so nice to meet you too, Hypnocity. So nice to meet you. And I'd love to, if there's any time. Hi, Fariba. Nice to see you. Oh, love the book. And thank you, Fariba, for coming. This is a woman who lives in London.
Beautiful.
So yeah, so now she's your friends and all of our friends and everyone's friends. So very nice.
Wonderful.
Really happy to see everybody.
It's awesome.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I think even, some of the things that have gone by, because there's just been so much, but
There
there was
has.
maybe Felicity or somebody had said they've subscribed already to your website.
Yep.
Thank you.
Where did she say that? I did see that somewhere.
Yes, very easy.
There we go.
Good. Hit Miss City, you got to subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when you go to lightonkundalini.com, you get a pop-up and you just fill it in. It's like 3 or 4 questions. No, and then you get a letter from the heart. And we start to have this conversation and it goes so much deeper. Every Sunday you get that. And it's so important to hear back from you. It's so important to join this conversation with you and your needs and your gifts. I learned so much from both of you, the solar flares and the gene codes. Woo!
Yeah, they're intense.
Yeah, they're pretty powerful, those gene keys.
They are.
Are they gene codes? Is that what they're called, gene codes?
It's called
Gene
the gene
keys.
Keys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Richard Rudd and the gene keys. But they are codes, right? They're codes that are connected to our DNA and to how we operate in the world, and they're impacted, as we go through the different transits. So, pretty powerful stuff. But
to add is this is the time we've been waiting for. Actually, surprise, surprise, it's the Aquarian age. And in the Aquarian age, no longer the Piscean age. No, thank you, greed. No, thank you. Yet, we're looking at it. Mm-hmm. We're looking at it head on, face on, because we need to step into our power and our mastery and do something about it. We, the people, and the people, we are. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very, there's a wonderful group of women called and men, Founding Mothers .world. And it's magnificent. And I'm in their peace room and we discover just so many ways of campaigning, doing events, serving, media, creating, doing everything, thank you, to participate. And we have the volunteer village and the partnership circles. So everybody's welcome. And you can become a delegate. And if you have 25 in your group, you become a delegate. Your group can just come right in. And then you come to the Congress, first Saturday of every month. And the first Thursday of every month, I do a ceremony.
Oh, wow.
And we do a ceremony circle, and it's so beautiful. We have special guests, and it's really with Ejna, our grandmother, and so many grandmothers, so many indigenous.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Everyone's welcome.
Amazing.
Thank you.
It's so important to have all of these places for our community.
It is.
Right? And, part of this and what we do is the community that we have with all of you who watch and all of you that we bring in to widen the community too, mm-hmm. right? Because there is so much available. We just need to know where to go to tap into it.
Yeah,
and ask ourselves and to dive in. Because when, years ago, year and a half ago when the Founding Mother started, I wondered where I fit in, and I now know where I fit in. I am the health and wellness director and director or whatever you want to call me in the peace room that makes the decisions and also carries the totem of the snake. So that's the Kundalini, and who knew? So it's really taking the time to take your time, say yes to it immediately with that 9-second yes, wait or sleep on it. If you don't get the yes, you'll get it next time or the next day. But take the time to work into these communities. Mm-hmm. Try not to look for an instant result. Oh, I don't fit in. I'm out of here. This isn't for me. That is the curse of our collectiveness, that we just judge ourselves. You spoke about this in the beginning so harshly, but every single one of us has a gift to give. Mm-hmm. Everyone, and the more you dive into the place that's super uncomfortable, the more you receive the true gift, which is, hello, we're in the Chinese Lunar New Year, and it's the wood snake. So very useful totem to carry.
Definitely.
Just having a little wood, and I live in a log cabin, so it's all perfect.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect. Well, and this idea of being kind and compassionate with ourselves and recognizing where our weakness brings strength. I mean, it fits with the transits. It fits with the card that I pull at the end of each session.
Yes.
Sacred feminine.
Yes.
You were shuffling as you were talking, and of course, because this stuff always happens, the card I got is be kind to yourself.
Perfect.
Such a beautiful deck you have, because those are the messages. Oh my golly gosh, you pulled the divine feminine.
It's this is the sacred feminine deck, so it's definitely is. So I'll read the card for you all real quick.
Oh yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, it says,
Reba and I love this part of practice.
Dear gentle soul, you are very gifted in caring for those around you. We are here to remind you that you need to work on caring for yourself. Like your sacred mother, you focus on everyone around you and make sure all their needs are met. This is a great skill. However, leaving your own needs unmet and unheard dishonors your sacred lineage. Loving yourself is your true and only task. Know your worth, for you are a magnificent being. Be kind to the needs of your heart and listen to the signs when you have overstepped your boundaries. To live in balance, you must value yourself. Allow your own needs to speak their truth and honor them with your attention. This is sacred work. As you honor your emotional and physical bodies and deepen the love you have for yourself, your love for others will grow. It is sacred law that what you plant into your own heart and mind will become real in the world. These are the seeds of the sacred feminine. Let the seeds of kindness for yourself grow and flourish.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Wow. That just spoke so directly from the moon, didn't it? Mm-hmm. The feminine moon energy is just, we're in a beautiful time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a courageous time, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But remember that uncomfortable, courageous surrender is an energy.
Yeah.
Right? So we can use that energy and direct that to serve and heal through all of our detoxification systems, right?
Mm-hmm.
It never looks pretty when you're detoxing. Why do you expect it to?
Messy.
You never know what's going to come out with that detoxing. But it's true. It's needed. Body needs to be taken care of. And we are magnificent, but we are a full-time job.
Yeah.
So it helps to sit on a sheepskin because, and basically just get to the practice, because that in itself is 70% done now. You get 30, It'll be done. You'll be covered. Just get there. Sit on
Yeah.
the sheepskin. Have the tools in the toolkit. Find a beautiful healing crystal if you choose to use things to remind you, and drink a ton of water. Oh,
One of my favorites, rose quartz. Clean.
Oh, so beautiful. Rose quartz right here.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your beautiful crystal.
My pleasure. I have quite a few.
Oh,
I'd be surrounded at the moment. Yeah.
something's behind you. What can you explain what that is?
It's a copper pyramid. So I do crystal baths and stuff in the copper pyramid. So I have a mattress that I have on the floor, which you can't see. And then I put crystals all around it so that my clients and myself can lay in that crystal bath. And then I activate the pyramid so that it raises the vibration and it activates all the crystals even more. So it's a beautiful meditative space. Yeah.
Wow, I can even feel that. When you spoke about that, I could feel like I was just melting into everything you were saying and receiving. So, it's like we need to really hear what you just said. We need to hear it,
Yeah.
We just, and because we can't be live, except in Costa Rica on my retreat, we can be live there. And boy, oh boy, did these sound tools really resonate. But because we are here, viral, we can feel what you just said through your sound currents, through the tone, through feeling that energy in your crystals. Thank you. So healing.
My pleasure. Yeah. That's one of my self-cares, is setting that up for myself. So I do that when I'm having a rough day.
And if we only had one crystal, would it be enough?
Yeah. One crystal is great. There's no need to you don't have to have a whole bunch of crystals, right? One small crystal can make a big difference. The others they help to fine tune the energy, right? They have different purposes. So they fine tune the energy. I've got some fairly large snowflake obsidian. So those help with the detox. They pull out some of the stuff that we want to release. And then I've got large selenite. So that helps to transmute some of that on its way out so that it's not heavy. And then, rose quartz, of course, which helps to raise the heart vibration. And then amethyst to calm and, really make you. And then, of course, we've got the ones for the chakras to help balance and align. So that's pretty much what we do. And then I often will use these, actually. This is a new thing that I've been doing. These are specific cards that have light language. And so I will often, if someone's on the bed, I will pick cards for some of the main chakras and then actually place that on them as well. So that's labradorite.
And what does it say it does for us once you pick that?
That one was free will.
Oh, good.
This one is calm expression. So blue lace agate.
Beautiful, yeah.
Right. So that
When you
allows
talk about balance, look at those two cards: free will and calm expression.
Yeah.
And we need those together to balance.
You brought that balance up big time.
Yeah.
The qualities.
That's the two together. So those light language symbols also create the energy. So
yeah,
I love the Zen feeling I'm getting from those.
Yeah, it's a great deck. It is Liquid Crystal Oracle by Justin Moika Asar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful deck. Thank you for sharing that. So
My pleasure.
shopping. You need those.
It's a fun one.
I pull cards every morning. in my
Yep.
sadhana. I get to a certain place in the sadhana, I know when the cards are coming, and it's ready for me to pull and check out the wisdom and believe it and live it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
one today was detoxification.
Ah, beautiful. Okay.
And it doesn't necessarily mean you're toxic.
Mm-hmm.
So
No.
it really, right? When we say that, if we were to, teach about the cards for just a second, wouldn't we say that you're on the right path? You're detox.
Yep.
Definitely.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's mind stuff.
Yeah.
Too. It's not just, sweat and, the skins. It's also the mind, the detoxification of how we think about things.
Yes.
Definitely.
And that's the energy, right? Right now, to detox that part of us that beats ourselves up and puts ourselves down, and allow ourselves to transmute that energy and step into, our genius, our gifts, what we're here to bring forward.
And I was just teaching that yesterday with one of my classes. I do a galactic shaman program, and we were just talking yesterday about a new modality called Nigera, which is no shadow. And so it's working on our inner shadow with a symbol and a galactic energy that's coming down right now. So
that shadow has been with us for a long time, and it deserves to be acknowledged.
Yeah,
exactly.
We need
and not push everything away. Don't push it. Don't just acknowledge me, and I'll be good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the tone. Chant the Ramadasa to the shadows.
Yeah.
The fears. I ask people to put the Ramadan working with trauma or grief. Put the Ramadasa on repeat in your bedroom when you sleep. You don't hear it, but you get the frequency, just like your crystals and everything, the tools that we use. You receive the frequency. If somebody's ill, somebody, whatever, those mantras I suggested in my book aren't just random. They're specific for us to realize that they're there for a very important reason. And that is to help each other in community and care. And when we get sick, we panic. Sure, we get so tired when we get sick. Our mind just goes berserk when we get sick because our immune system is challenged. So don't take it too seriously, folks. It's like just rest. It's like become a baby again. Hungry, change a diaper, and go to bed. And drink a lot of water.
Love it.
Basic needs. Take care of the basic needs.
Yeah. And try to slip into a good Epsom salt bath. And drink ginger tea, drink yogi tea. Find the stuff that, helps you with the digestive tract. We're talking here about detoxification and how. And so hydrate.
If I remember correctly, the recipe for that yogi tea you're talking about is in here.
It is. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh. And you should smell yogi tea from every house in the neighborhood. It should be a staple.
It sounds delicious.
It is. Oh my God. You haven't made it yet. You must make it. So cardamom, black pepper, cinnamon, cloves, turmeric if you're achy and you're swollen and you have terrible inflammation. Turmeric you can add, and that's golden milk. That becomes golden milk. And that's really you good. Put your almond milk in or whatever milk you want, and you heat that stuff up, take it off, and then add the honey. So you don't heat up the honey because you don't want to take the qualities of the healing out of the honey. When you heat it, the qualities go. So add the honey or nothing and just sip. And if you need, black tea, you can add black tea in the morning, but I would stop that by 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
Definitely.
If you want to sleep.
Prioritize your sleep.
Exactly.
Oh, God. I mean, start with chamomile at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Exactly.
These are the ways of detoxing, and that brought up the subject of the yogi tea, because the ginger, there's the element I missed. Ginger. Thank God I told you ginger. Ginger is so important, because when you detox, you need to hydrate. And what goes in is that ginger, and that'll help all this respiratory stuff that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the grief.
Yeah.
And that's coming up. And you want that to come up.
Yeah. We want to clear it, right?
You want to clear it. Yeah, you want to clear it. We got to clear this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it has been such a pleasure having you today, Karuna. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Already, gal. I miss you gals already.
We're here. You know where to find us. We're here every Monday at 5 p.m.
Yes, I will not miss you. I am going to find you. There you go. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I'm just so happy to share this time with you. Thank you for helping me with my book. Thank you.
It's wonderful.
It's the first one I birthed.
Totally worth grabbing, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being with us and sharing your wisdom and walking us through some beautiful practices.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Sending
Thank you so much.
From the Rocky Mountains of a little historical mining village called Gold Hill. Who would have known?
Beautiful.
All that traveling, you end up, being the steward of the land.
Beautiful.
That's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful.
Really happy to know you.
Likewise.
Thank you for all your healing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And we're sending tons of love and light out to all of you as well. Thank
all
you.
Of you.
And we'll see you next week.
Much love. See
Much
you
love.
soon. Take care.
Bye-bye now.